From New York to LA, you are on the red carpet.
Donor direct action is a way that people sitting in their homes here can know exactly what they're supporting, see the people, see the project, hear the story without lots of paper and staff in between. And because it has a very perceptive and smart and strategic global board who really know these groups, they can do it with trust. I support what Jessica Neuwirth is doing. She founded Equality Now. Equality Now was the first sponsor of this, and now it's, flying on its own. And I trust her instincts. And actually, when I go off to do something in other countries, I check with her too. This donor direct action listens. They don't impose solutions from above and say this is what you should do. The people on the ground know what they need. Somebody who's experiencing something knows it better than the experts. And this is an acknowledgement of that. Well, right now I'm sitting at home. You know how crazy writers are. Finishing a last chapter of a book. I spend, I think I spend maybe half my time on the road traveling, mostly in this country, but also to other countries. And there are various organizations like Donor Direct Action, like Equality Now, and the Women's Media Center that I very much care about. Well, I would just say, how can I help? Because she's the brave one and she's the expert. She knows what she needs. And that is the mark of Donor Direct Action, that we listen, we don't say things like, how can you scale this project up? If you can scale it up, it's probably the wrong for the individual project. It's really about a partnership. So many things. I'm just continuously, from my garbage man who is a political expert from Queens, who I learn from, to people I meet in the street, to traveling. It's just infinitely interesting. And because I'm an organizer, I just love putting disparate things together to see if they can make something new. I've been trying to figure out how to express how much donor direct action means to me. And I'm going to try telling a story very briefly, because I have 3 minutes, which is that when Ms. Magazine started, our small staff sat in a restaurant and fixed each other's salaries according to what we felt we needed, right? So because I don't have children and, I didn't actually need that much. And what happened was that the rest of the staff gave me an extra, it was, I believe, $15,000 was what I needed to support myself. And they gave me an extra $5,000 because they thought I might like to give it away. Now, some of you have already learned what that means because you grew up in families with this kind of tradition. But I didn't grow up with that possibility. So I learned, going around the country, just how much it meant to me to be able to say to somebody who needed a new pair of glasses, to be able to say to somebody who needed babysitting funds or needed a prescription filled. You can imagine that $5,000 over a year was not a lot of money, but it was the principle of being able to see directly what people needed, not to ever tell them what they need, but to listen to what they need and be able to supply it. I have never, ever, ever in my life felt more, at one with people and the universe, right? And this, on a much bigger scale, is what donor direct action is able to do. Because, as you will meet, their board are people of activism and compassion and judgment, so that when they tell us that we need to get to know a group, we really know that it's true. And we can finally see the group, hear the story, and actually have a personal contact because of technology. And in addition, donor direct action, if when donors have time to do it, conducts tours as we went to India, as we went to Sonagachi, so that there is additional personal contact. I think Marshall McLuhan, if he were alive, would be very happy. This is the great combination of high tech and high touch, right? Now, the second reason I have to say I am so happy is because we are here in the Ford Foundation, and you know, Darren, where are you, Darren? Do you come out here? No, this person, I want to say that he he responded with such open-heartedness, and I don't know where he's just come from, but I'm sure with difficulty to get here. And this is a man, Darren Walker is a man who is not just the head of the Ford Foundation, he is the heart of the Ford Foundation. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you. This is, there's so many issues, of course, that this group is addressing, and there are 12 partners who you will meet, but it also gives us the tools to work with minimum bureaucracy and maximum impact against all kinds of issues, from FGM to child marriage to economic empowerment, all kinds of issues. And I just hope that you will go and hear the stories so that you continue this kind of all five senses contact we have with each other tonight. Now, there is a foundation that is in the leadership of women and girls issues. That is the Novo Foundation. And and we have here Pamela Schiffman, who is the president of the foundation, and this is kind of a reunion for us, because Nozizwe and Pamela and I met in Cape Town. How many years ago? We don't know. 1998. Right. But you know, it's very frustrating this to look at you, because I see every one of you. I want to tell everything I know about every one of you, and I can't do that. So you have to promise that you are going to meet each other and talk to each other and make use of this extraordinary group of brave and accomplished and compassionate people. But you do now get to meet Pamela Schiffman. Pamela.
I just want to point out that you don't see any of us addressing you in Pashto or Arabic or Xhosa. So I not only applaud, but I'm in awe of the skill of my sisters. I'm going to be very brief because we're running a bit long. I have two things. One is a welcome, and the other is an introduction. The welcome is that Donor Direct Action, on whose steering committee I'm proud to sit, was hatched at Equality Now, which was also founded by Jessica. She founds awfully good things. And when it has reached its maturity, it spread its wings, and it came to rest with the Sisterhood is Global Institute, which was started by women from 80 countries, primarily the Global South. Nawal Sadawi, Zenabawarka Tadessa, Marie-Angelique Savigny, a whole other generation of activists, Danda Prado, Maria Pintasilgo, and Simone de Beauvoir, the late Simone de Beauvoir, and moi. And it was founded, in this June, it will be 30 years old and going strong. They say that it's hard enough to start something, but sustaining it is where the rubber really meets the road, and I can tell you that's why my hair is white. But it is the best possible 30th anniversary gift that I can imagine, that Donor Direct Action is now a project of the Institute. It is an honor and a delight, and since our mandate, our woman date, was always to be a bridge between women who were in need and power that they needed, and we all need. Men need, children need, all living things on the earth need for women at this point, the other half of the human species, to have power and voice. So I want to welcome Donor Direct Action with such glee, and I'm also so pleased because we've grown up, the women's movement. You know how boys always have interlocking boards? And I always used to think, wow, that's so cool. And now I just want to point out that Gloria and Jane and Jessica are among the board of the Sisterhood is Global Institute. And Gloria and Jane and I co-founded the Women's Media Center. And Gloria and I sit on the steering committee of Donor Direct Action. And we all network and share and suggest and cross, fertilize, and it's absolutely terrific. Now for the introduction. This next person is going to read testimony from a survivor in the Congo, from the atrocities against women in the Congo, a woman who made it to Panzi Hospital and the healing care of Dr. Denis Mukwege. This person has a politics that is as generous and inclusive and huge as is her heart, and her heart is as fine and first-rate as is her talent and her artistry, which means all of them are at the level of greatness. My beloved sister, Jane Fonda.
Oh, thank you, Robin. That was very generous. I'm honored to be here and to read this testimony. Oh, yes. I was attacked on Easter Sunday, 8:30 in the evening. My husband was in one hut, and I was in another with the 7-year-old son of my younger sister when I heard a girl crying out from another hut. There were 6 attackers. I wanted to go and help the girl who'd cried out, but I myself was attacked and raped. I tried to fight back. I caught him by the throat and I tried to bite his fingers, but he kicked me. He hit me with a gun. I still have scars. After the incident, I looked for medical care and I got assistance from Dr. Mukwege. I still have problems with several teeth. This is my story. But my friends had much worse experiences than I did, and some of them even died. I was able to get help, medical care. Some people gave me clothing and others gave me animals to breed. I was lucky to get this help, which enabled me to take care of others. Many have been displaced, and some, like me, have been rejected by their husbands because, you see, families reject you if you've been raped. The community continues to stigmatize victims. It's like a gaping wound inside of me, as if you had wanted this to happen. Another big problem in the community is that some women became pregnant as a result of rape, and dealing with these children is a very, very big problem because they, too, are stigmatized. What will happen to these children? Who will take care of them? I'm lucky to be alive. Many others were abducted, and they died in the bush. Many women were raped while their children were forced to watch, and I've come upon very young children, as young as 8 years old, who were raped. Because of the help that I've received, I'm strong enough to help others. Dr. Mukwege told me that I'd given him strength because I'm now taking care of others. But it's Dr. Mukwege who has given me strength. Thank you. Well, I'm so glad I could be here. I work with Jessica Neuwirth on Equality Now, and I'm on the board of Sisterhood is Global with Robin Morgan and Gloria, and I'm glad I can show up because this is what they do. We support women, individual women, and organizations that they have built in the Global South in particular, and support them by hooking them up with donors, activists, lawyers. We support them, we augment them, we help them in whatever way we can, amplify them, I guess that's the best way to say it. Creating legal precedent is so important. And so, there are instances where a girl, a very young girl in Pakistan has been raped by her teacher. It's never been prosecuted. No girls in that situation have seen justice. And we get lawyers to help her and work through the court system and prosecute the rapist, the perpetrator, and set a precedent. That's the kind of thing we do. Western feminists get criticized unfairly, I think, for telling people in countries, in conflict zones and in the global south what to do. We don't, and we shouldn't. What we need to do is identify them, the leaders, the indigenous leaders on the ground, and then support them with what they want to do, because we have no idea how unsafe it is, what they are risking. It's so far beyond what we can imagine in this country. So we have to be humble. We have to listen very carefully and give them whatever support they need, but not tell them what to do or how to do it. Everything, life. I'm a perpetual student. I'm learning. I don't know, I feel like every day I learn something amazing. And I also grew up with the belief that service is the rent you pay for the privilege of being alive. And, my father was Henry Fonda, and he made Grapes of Wrath and 12 Angry Men and Young Abe Lincoln and those kind of movies, and I adored him. And those roles really inspired me growing up, so I feel that I can follow in the footsteps of the characters that he created in whatever little way I can. I'll be paying my rent for life.